Hello, my beautiful people. It is time to read some runes. I don't know what's going on with my hair. My house has been full of hikers. It's been great energy, a little bit chaotic, a little bit unexpected. A bunch of people came that I wasn't expecting, and it's always good, but it's a little bit exhausting and a little bit of a energy drain. But it's awesome to. I did a really nice meditation. I'll link it below, the meditation series that I like to do. I've been testing out the Aura app, and I have to say, like, it is really, really good. So I'll post that below as well. It's an app for your phone. There's a free trial for a week, and it is, I think, $59 a year. But I've used a lot of different things. They have live things, and they have canned things for meditation and different kind of music by natural beats. And so far, I'm really, really liking it. And I have a few paid apps that I will pay money for if I think they're worth it, and this might be one of them. So I'll do more of a review of it when I get closer to the end, and then decide if I'm going to get the actual trial, or get the actual product after the trial. So we'll start with our 2 Iona stones. So this is the one that I picked, and this is the one that I bought. I kind of have them here, and just a reminder to center our energy on the highest good for everybody watching and listening. Whatever I pull may resonate for me, but may resonate for you. Maybe it'll resonate in some way for all of us. Let's remember that runestones don't predict the future, and we use them in the Celtic tradition. All right, so let's pick our present energy. We're going to do Celtic cross today. So we're going to pick our present energy stone, asking Spirit to guide us. Okay, our present energy is Isa, which means ice. So that feeling of being stuck in the ice. What got us here is Othala. And what are the forces that we cannot prevent? We have Fehu. Let's see it, Fehu. What are the forces that we can work with? Lagus. Stones are slippery in my hands. I'm not really good at understanding how cameras work. And what is the potential outcome? Remembering that runestones don't predict the future. We have Tiwaz. All right. I am going to pause for a hot minute and think about the stones, reflect on them, and then I'll be right back. So this is a really interesting reading because Isa is one of the menacing stones, right? We had the 3 menacing stones in Hagelas, Thurzaz, and Isa. And that's the present energy. So for some of us, we may feel stuck. Maybe we have this energy like we're kind of slipping out of control. And it's interesting because if you follow the channel, you know that I opened my home to Appalachian Trail through hikers. I live on the Appalachian Trail, Appalachian if you're down south, and I don't charge. It's almost in the spirit of what I like to think about, like Chaucer's Canterbury tales. This is just a way on their trail to help them out, the through hikers that are doing this 2,200-mile journey. And I've always I feel very called to do this work because I feel like, there's so much anger and selfishness and greed in the world, and at least for this one little corner of the world in which I live, and in this space that I've chosen to live in, that people will see the light of God, or the light, of life, and the light of love, through somebody who's not seeking financial compensation or, some kind of thing out of helping others. So that's the work I do, but I'm not an official hostel, so I don't want to be, because I don't want to go through the paperwork. I don't want to pay the taxes, and I don't want to have to be here all the time, because I hike on my own and I do all kinds of other things. And so I like to do it when I like to do it. And so over the years, I have a little bit of a following, people in this community. It's a big community, but it's a very small community. But I have, people who've been here that I absolutely love, who come year after year to visit. And I'm actually advertised nowhere. I don't advertise at all. I don't, it's really word of mouth. It's really kind of a secret. You have to know that I'm here. And even if you connect with me, I won't recommend my place first. I recommend some of the other places in town that do rely on the money. Because they're businesses. So it is kind of like, like a thing to be able to stay with me. Best kept secret on the trail. I'd like to believe that, right? But this past few days, a trail angel who's very well meaning has been bringing like people to the house, and it's been getting overwhelming because I work from home, and and my life is here, and he's like a really great guy, and he has this really great dog who's super sweet. But he insists on bringing it in the house, and I have cats who don't like dogs, and it was creating such a fluster with me, like really a fluster, like um and and this guy is really nice, but he is also not very perceptive about his choices and decisions. He just does what he wants to do and really doesn't think about how it might impact or affect others. Like, he parked in front of my neighbor's garage. It didn't dawn on him that maybe my neighbor didn't want him to park in front of his garage. Like, he's just not like very perceptive of how other people are going to perceive his behavior or action. So like, he just comes in the house because his dog is a well-behaved dog, and that is true, and his dog is adorable, and I love his dog. But this is the house of my cats, and this is their home, and they have a right to feel safe in their home. Even though I know the dog isn't going to hurt them, they don't know that. So so it puts me in a really bad position. And then he's like inviting people in, and I have a real strict policy that I must talk to them first, just to get an energy read on who they are, because I only have 5 rules. They're very, very simple. Don't get arrested, don't poop in my yard, don't do hard drugs. Like, they're real simple rules. But I also like to lay out the expectation. Listen, I work from home. I can't entertain you throughout the day. I need you to stay outside if I'm in a meeting, and so I was feeling like I was slipping out of control. So, because I'm also very nice, and I don't want to cause a problem. I don't want to say anything, but I do need parameters, and I can't, it can't get out of control. It can't skate out of control. It can't be chaotic, or I just won't do it. Right? Because remember, I'm not a business. I don't have to do this. I do this because I want to, and I'm not going to want to do it. And my neighbors aren't going to be supportive if you're parking in front of their garage. And if, it isn't going to be worth it to me to go through the angst I feel because you're creating an environment that I don't want. I have a way that I do this, and it's the way that I do it, and that's the way it gets done. So, how'd we get here? Well, Othal is a great stone. It's a very positive stone. It's all about, wanting to be generous and passing along ancestral wisdom, and being open and loving. And that is who I am. Like, I am that way. But then what happens is that I get myself into these positions where it's like, I teeter on, like not being able to say no, because like I want to be helpful, and I want to be generous, and I want to be loving, and I want to be kind, but I also need to recognize that I need boundaries for myself, right? Like, I need to do this. I need, it needs to go the way I can do it. And so, but that generosity of spirit is what gets me here, right? And so what I can't control is that, this is a gift from the universe. Fehu is beginning. It's literally translates to cattle, and cattle are domesticated animals, so trained, right? So cattle that are trained to be cattle as opposed to like a wild bull, right? So I can't control that. This is who I am. This is what I need. I need this to be organized. I need this to be the way that I do it. I can't let somebody come in and decide that he's going to change how I do it, because, as nice as I am, I need to set the limits, right? Like, I need to say, this is how it has to happen, which I did do. But, I shouldn't feel bad about it, I guess, is really the lesson and message from Spirit, is that this is what I need to be able to do this work, and to give this gift. This is how it has to go. And I don't need to apologize for that. I don't need to feel bad, and I don't need to be gaslit and made to feel bad because this is the way I need to do it. So what I can control is my flow, right? I can let things be blocks. I can create dams for myself, or I can just work around it. And the way I work around it is I just close. Like, I'm taking people tonight, and then I'm done for the week, because I have to pay attention to my own family and what we need. And sometimes in the during hiking season, which we're getting into high hiking season, I just need time without hikers in my house, right? That's why I'm not a hostel. So I just go with the flow, and be careful of the flow, and don't go splashing into unknown territory. Don't create mudslides. Don't create chaos. Like, just really be conscious of the flow. Be gentle. Go forward, and just recognize where the hiccups are. And then if I do that tier, like, I will continue to enjoy this experience, continue to, value having made the decision to live on the trail to help the hikers. And I will, I'll feel good about the experience. So it's just, I think, a reminder from Spirit to, like you're on a good path, but you could be skidding out of control if you continue to let people determine how you're going to do what it is you do. So let's get some clarifying cards from Spirit just to make sure we're on track. So in your life, is there something that's kind of like getting out of control because other people are just like, I don't know, like gaslighting you, or, making their expectations. I would say that this person is completely unaware that he behaves that way. I feel like he doesn't recognize, there's some people who recognize they're being manipulative and stuff like that. This is not the case with this fella. He's very unaware that his decisions are not always like the best. Like, he doesn't think about what he does in terms of other people. So it isn't that he thinks about it and says screw it. He's just not thinking about it at all. He's not aware. So I don't know, like, post below if you have a situation like this going on. So let's ask Spirit if there's any clarifying cards, and if there are none, we're going to do 3 passes. If there are none, the reading stands on its own. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Pass 1. Pass 2. And pass 3. All right, we got one. We haven't gotten this card for a while. For a while, we were getting it every day, and that's the Gatekeeper. Power, abundance, and it's like watching your wealth. Like this is this dragon. I love this dragon, and he's like looking through like a little portal, and then there's the wealth out here. I've been working on manifestation, which I'm not good at. Trying to manifest McRae McAllen bagpipes. That's what I'm trying to manifest. I think maybe that's just too specific. And I'm not gonna. The manifestation is that they show up at the door as a surprise gift from some benefactor who loves me and wants me to have really nice bagpipes. Probably too specific, but I think this goes along with this reading, right? Like, just watch your resources. Like, keep an eye on your resources, and that could be your energy, right? Like, for me to just keep an eye on my energy, because I won't want to do this work. I won't want to open my home if it becomes too much of a hassle, and my husband is not going to want to open up the home because he's not into the hiking culture at all. So, like, to him, like, we don't have to do this at all, and he'd be just fine. So, just to keep an eye on my resources and my treasure, and my treasure is my family. So I think that's a really good reminder from Spirit. Let's see if Kill Earth Wisdom has anything to say. And we will do 3 passes, and if anything comes out, that's great. If nothing comes out, the reading stands on its own. Get our energy in there. See if there's anything Spirit wants to say or add. Pass 1. Pass 2. And pass 3. Louise. So we have some thrown out here. We have inspiration, truth, self-acceptance, and shadow treasures. So let's talk about these. So self-acceptance didn't pop out, but it stuck out. And I think it's just me accepting who I am, right? There was a time in my life when I would feel like I had to do everything, you know, and I would have to give up everything to help these hikers, you know, because, you know, I had agreed to do it, so I needed to do it, you know, their way. And I have since accepted and confirmed today that I need to do it in my own way, which means looking at my shadow. And my shadow is that I'm a people pleaser, you know, having come, you know, from a line and in my own past and my own childhood, always trying to please people so that I'd be loved and accepted. I am loved and accepted. I don't need to do this work to be loved and accepted. I do it because I want light and love to be out in the world. I'm inspired by others, but I think others get inspired by the generosity of spirit that comes through places like this, that don't count the financial cost, because so much of our culture is about financial gain, and I'm not about that, which is why I don't have McCrae and McCallum bagpipes. And then just like truth, you know, just knowing the truth and understanding who you are and how things, you know, in your personality and in your reality have to work in order for things to be beautiful and positive, right? We're going to do something new today. My friend Nav is all about charms. And so I've been practicing reading charms. I'm just going to pick one because I'm just learning how to use them. She gave me a whole bunch, and then I got a whole bunch. So we have, oh, it's a beautiful little starfish, I think. They're very small, so it's hard for me to see. It's a little starfish in like a little circle. So she gave me this amazing chart, which I'm not going to read from. I'm just going to be intuitive about it. But I think this starfish means that, like what I do here at it's called Auntie Squeak's Home for Wayward Hikers. I can't even speak. Auntie Squeak's Home for Wayward Hikers is unique, like finding a starfish in the sand. But there's this like circle of protection around it, right? In this particular charm, you know, in order for it to be special, in order for it to be beautiful, in order for it to be trail magic, which is what we call it on the trail, there has to be parameters and boundaries. There has to be, it has to be contained in a way that allows it to continue to be beautiful and unique, right? And so I need to be very conscious of my own energy and make sure that I don't go sliding around and, you know, and giving too much, because then, you know, then people can't ice skate here. They're going to have to go somewhere else because I will have melted. You know, it will have, you know, I will have given up the dream. So I think this is a really just good reminder that, that when things are starting to, like, you can recognize when things start slipping out of control, and just to be mindful that you have choices, you have your behavior, you have your awareness and your wherewithal to navigate that space. And you know, ice turns into water, and that water then becomes, you know, the flow. You can be a flow, and it can be a positive flow or it can be a tidal wave, and like you really control which way it's going to go. So that's today's message. I am wishing you all the very best at night. Love. Have a great day. Bye-bye.